You're welcome here. We want and we need you just as you are. That's actually required in order for this mandala to unfold. Even if what is here for you right now isn't ideal, if you're struggling or suffering or worried or sad or frustrated or angry, or if you're feeling shame or guilt or that you've been really misunderstood by someone, by life, by God, or not seen, or that you've been forsaken somehow by this life, forgotten. This is all welcome here. It's more than that, actually. It's actually needed here because it's only from the ground of illuminating and really befriending the truth of this moment that deep, lasting transformation and healing can emerge. And this sort of pretty radical notion, really, that whatever you're experiencing right now, this experience is valid. If you're open, if you're stuck, if you're expanded, if you're contracted, it has permission to be here as a part of you, as a piece of soul who is emerging into the nowness space to be held, to be known, in a moment of compassionate presence that we can bring to it individually and together as a field. It's yearning, we might say, for a companion, to walk with it and to accompany it on this journey. And if you aren't able to meet that part of yourself right now, or some emotion or some feeling or some situation in your life with that sense of embodied, compassionate presence, you can just be really honest about that. We don't need to pretend here. And we can actually turn toward that. We can actually hold that inability in this moment to be with that, to accept what is here, inviting an even deeper unconditional acceptance that's so wide, it's so spacious, it's so big that it can even hold those moments of our inability to accept. And perhaps through our time together today, and through the energy and the love and the holding of the field itself, that you might discover a doorway into that sort of kindness, of presence, of friendship. And that's certainly one of my intentions, for our time together, and we can support one another in that. And no, we can't always do that on our own. Touch and hold and regulate and befriend that pure feeling which is surging within us, the ghosts of our unlived lives, the anxiety, the panic, the fear, the worry, the stress, the shutdown, the collapse. As relational mammals with the sort of nervous system that we've been crafted with, the one that comes with this particular star anyway. Maybe there's a different kind of nervous system on some other star, but you'll have to tell me about that if you know of that. But here anyway, the experience of abandonment and of aloneness, of I'm alone with all of this, is really the greatest type of suffering we can face. Of course, there's the pain, the difficulty, the suffering, the struggle of those difficult emotions and feelings and experiences. And I think even deeper than that is that sense that so many of us have, at least from time to time, that I'm on top of all of that. I'm alone. I'm alone with all of this. It just goes to the very core of who and what we are as beings who are wired to connect, to love and to be loved, to hold and to be held, and to rest, to live, to play, to breathe, to thrive, really in the arms of another, metaphorically, and also physically, emotionally, neurophysiologically, as well as spiritually. I mean, at times we need the other, capital O, and of course the forms that this other will take are not always obvious. They can be subtle, they can be hidden at times. We need at times anyway that otherness, the other to help us to feel, how do we say it? To help us to feel glued together, cohesive, integrated, and able to really hold and to contain very difficult and challenging feeling states and experiences, positive and negative ones, by the way. Because remember that in the shadow, we relegate to the shadow not only so called sort of negative states, guilt, fear, shame, anger, our own narcissism. But there's a way that more positive states can also find their way into that underground storage. States of just profound, causeless, open joy and excitement. States of creativity, of sexuality, whatever it is. Whatever it is that to stay fully embodied to for us would bring up those shaky associations of, oh my God, this isn't safe. It's not safe to allow myself to just be in those states of unbridled, causeless joy. Now, why would that be? That just sounds crazy. Of course, I want that. But for many of us, we've come to associate even some of these even more so-called positive states with, it's been tangled up in the psyche and the nervous system with something unsafe. Say, for example, if those states and experiences were met in our early families of origin with a certain amount of aggression from mom or dad, or it threw dad into some kind of panic or anxiety, or made mom run out of the room, or whatever it is, rejected, dismissed, shamed, not allowed. But the point is that no matter how much inner work we do, how much therapy, how many meditation retreats we do, not speaking for myself or anything, or how healed or transformed or enlightened or awakened we become, or fantasize that we've become, we don't ever really transcend our relational nature. We don't rise above hundreds of millions of years of evolution. Here's the thing, you don't need to apologize for this or pretend that it's otherwise or shame yourself, judge yourself, attack yourself for having a relationally configured nervous system. You don't need to apologize or to make excuses for the fact that we are relationally crafted, but to stand back in awe, really, the mystery of one and two, of separation and union, the aching, the burning, chaotic glory and mess of the whole thing. And I think, what I've come to see over these years is that in so many ways, it's really the love of the truth that is the fuel for this entire journey. The love of reality, a devotion or a fidelity, we might say, to reality itself, or to God, to Goddess, to Spirit, to the great mystery, to the beloved. And no matter whether we're talking about healing from trauma or relational wounding, integrating shadow parts or fragments and soul pieces, or repairing a fragile sense of self, borderline, narcissistic organization, or we're exploring the deeper layers of spiritual transformation, those felt states of communion, of union, of unity, of a unity with all that is. But to really live from this love of the truth, it takes effort and it takes attention and a certain sort of, maybe the most important word, it does require a certain sort of devotion. I know it's a strange word to use in our contemporary world, but a devotion to that, a real love of reality.